Morning, Jenny.
How do you feel, Dad?
Just fine.
What time did you get up this morning?
Well, he had coffee with me a little after 5. Where's Steve? Is he up yet?
Mm-hmm. He's in his room getting dressed. Should be down any minute. What is that, Dad?
Something here about Elena Decker and her manager.
I told you about that. Elena's a country western singer now.
Oh. Well, anyway, it seems that the trailer that they were using belonged to somebody named Bernie Stokes. And Elena found him in the closet of the trailer, dead.
Oh, how awful for poor Elena. Did they find out who did it?
No. It says here something about the Stokes character being arrested as part of a porno movie ring. The police thought he was out of the country after he jumped bail.
Oh, Max was afraid Elena was going to get mixed up with the wrong crowd. Looks as if she did. He's just going to have a fit.
Well, it really, no, it doesn't say that Elena was involved with this Bernie Stokes or his business.
No, but you're judged by the company you keep.
Elena knows right from wrong. Oh, it says there that she and Billy Joe Wright were using the trailer for a dressing room.
I doubt if Max will believe that involvement was innocent.
I sure hope so.
I'm going to hurry Steve up before his breakfast gets cold.
Can't you wait until I'm finished?
Elena, what have you gotten yourself into, honey? Oh. I can't let Max find this. I'm gonna have to find some way to break this to him gently.
Hey, Rena.
Hi, Max. What do you want for breakfast?
Oh, I already fixed myself something before I went out this morning. I'll just have coffee. Where's the morning paper? What?
What would you like for breakfast? I've got plenty of time this morning. I can fix you whatever you want. You know, French toast or bacon and eggs or whatever you want.
I don't want anything to eat, thanks.
All right. Hey, what's so fascinating in the paper this morning, huh?
Paige, there's something here about that friend of yours, Chris Shaw.
Coming through. Well, I'll get it, Bill. Okay, but breakfast is going to be ready in about 2 minutes. I'll be right there.
Morning, Mrs. Wheeler.
What do you want?
I want to know if you've made up your mind about the proposal I made to you the other day.
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
I don't care for your showing up this way, unannounced. I told you I'd call you, didn't I?
Yes, and I think I might have had to wait a long time for that call.
What if my husband were home?
Then you'd have a problem, wouldn't you? You don't mind my coming in, do you?
I certainly do.
Well, I do so hate doing business on doorsteps. Besides, I don't think you'd want your neighbors to overhear our little discussion, would you?
You can't do this.
I've just done it, Mrs. Wheeler. Perhaps you'd like to do something about it, like call the police. Although somehow, I don't think you'll do that. Not with the information I have.
At this point, the police would be far more interested in you, Mr. Shaw.
Glad to see you keep up with current events.
It seems the police picked you up for questioning in connection with the murder of an employee of yours.
Former employee, Mrs. Wheeler. And the police know that I had nothing to do with sending Bernie Stokes to his reward. My being questioned was a mere formality.
Perhaps. But I do think the police would be interested to learn of your connection with the porno ring that this Mr. Stokes was arrested for earlier.
You don't have any proof of that.
The publicity stills you showed me from the movie my daughter-in-law was in would be proof enough.
What you claim to have seen is not proof, Mrs. Wheeler. You don't have the stills. Although it's true, I did slip a portion of one of them under your door.
I received the envelope.
It was just a reminder.
I don't need to be reminded. You think I would ever forget those pictures you showed me of Paige? I remember them all too well.
I'm waiting for your decision, Mrs. Wheeler.
Chris Shaw's in the paper?
Yep. Apparently a former employee of his was found murdered. The body was found hanging in the closet of his trailer.
Hanging in the closet. That's terrible, Dennis.
Well, the trailer was being used by that guy who used to work for you. Billy Joe.
And they say they don't have a clue as to who did it.
Oh, they don't even have a motive. Paige, this Shaw guy hasn't been bothering you, has he?
Chris? No. No, the last time I saw him was that day that you ran into him at my office. Darling, I'm so sorry about last night.
I don't want to talk about it, all right?
I know I should have told you that I was going to the police. But
But what?
I just didn't think it was right to involve you in the whole mess again.
No. Instead, you'd rather have me go half out of my mind wondering what happened to you.
All right. I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
Paige, I wouldn't be so upset if I didn't care so much about you.
I care about you, too. That's why I'm so furious with myself for doing something so thoughtless. I just wish I could forget about the whole thing and didn't have to go down to the police station this morning.
Well, I think it'd be a good idea if I went down to the police station with you.
Oh, no, I don't think that would be such a good idea, honey.
Well, why not? I don't mind. All I've got to do is get on the phone and call Vicky, tell her I'll be a little late. That's all.
No, I don't think you should do that, hon. Dennis, all they're going to do is show me all of these pictures of suspects, and it's going to be so boring because I'm not going to be able to identify any of them. And you'll just sit around all morning without anything to do.
Paige, I don't mind. I mean, as a television reporter, I'm going to be spending a lot of time around police stations.
Darling, this is really something I'd rather do myself, all right? Okay. I'll get ready, all right?
Well, what do you say, Mrs. Wheeler? Are you interested in doing business with me or not?
Of course I am. But you have to understand, it isn't easy for me to raise the kind of money you're demanding.
$1 million? It's not much money these days.
It's a great deal, even for me.
If you're stalling...
I'm not!
I don't like being put off, Mrs. Wheeler. I want you to act quickly on this. As I told you before, it would be very easy for me to get another buyer. A porno film starring Alex Wheeler's daughter-in-law has great box office potential. Don't you agree?
You have to give me time.
For what? I'm sure that once you explain to your husband what you need the money for, he'll make the necessary arrangements.
My husband mustn't know about this.
Well, maybe you should tell him.
He wouldn't understand. He'd see you in prison or worse before he would allow himself to be blackmailed.
I wish you wouldn't use that word, Mrs. Wheeler. I'm merely offering you an opportunity to invest in my next film.
Call it whatever you like. It's going to take me a while to come up with the money.
How long?
I don't know.
I am not a patient man, Mrs. Wheeler. I'd hope that you'd have seen that by now. You know, I'm especially impatient when you insist on doing things behind my back.
What things?
I'm talking about your going to Paige about this. I don't think that that was very smart of you.
Why shouldn't I have gone to her? After all, she's in the film you're trying to sell me. Besides, what goes on between us is our business, just as your proposal is between you and me. That is, unless there's more between you and Paige than I know about.
Oh, we're merely friends.
Friends? You have a very strange way of treating your friends.
Don't concern yourself with that, Mrs. Wheeler. You just get this money and you get it fast because I'm not waiting much longer.
Remember Junior Harper, honey?
Sure, Paige used to date him.
Yeah, well, it seems that he's coming home from Memphis this weekend.
Oh, he'll be here for Easter. That'd be nice for his dad.
Yeah, old man Harper, he's really looking forward to seeing him.
When's the last time you talked to him?
We were up this place a couple of days ago checking on the water holes, and I ran into him.
You know, that's odd. We can be here right on our front porch and look right over to his property, but I don't think I've ever seen Mr. Harper.
Yeah, well, you know, he sticks pretty close to home these days. Don't forget, he's getting kind of old.
He's about Stryker's age. That's not so old.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Mr. Harper seems so much older.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why they call him Old Man Harper.
You going into town to talk to your daddy about whatever it was he called about yesterday?
Yes, after lunch. Unless there's something you want me to do.
Oh, no, that's fine with me. Sure wish I knew where our morning paper was. You sure it didn't get delivered?
What's so important about that paper?
Well, I want to see what happened to the Astros last night.
Oh, that is important. Oh, morning, Ricky.
How are you, Rena?
Fine. Come on in.
Hey, Ricky. Morning, Max.
Want to have some coffee?
No, thank you, Rena. Have you seen the morning paper?
No, ours didn't get delivered. Why?
I got something to tell you.
Well, that sounds serious.
It is. It's about Elena. Her name was in the paper in connection with the death of a guy named Bernie Stokes.
Was he murdered? She's not a suspect.
No, of course not. But she did find the body.
Damn! I knew something like this would happen.
You know I don't like it when people read over my shoulder.
I'm sorry. It'll never happen again.
Good morning, son.
Morning, Dad. Honey, there's some oatmeal on the stove if you'd like some. Thanks, Mom.
Some of the boys are moving cattle in from the West Range today. If you want to come and help, you're welcome.
Is Max gonna be there?
No, I don't think so.
I think I'll find some other work to do.
Sweetheart, you want something else? Rather than oatmeal, I can fix you something, huh?
I might like scrambled eggs, but I can do it.
No, I'll fix it.
Okay. Is there anything on the sports page about our track team?
Is that all you can ever think about?
Barrett, Steven's on the track team. It's important to him.
Well, there's nothing in this morning's paper about it.
Dad, I need a new kerosene lamp for the camping trip.
You can forget about the kerosene lamp, Steve.
But mine broke last year.
We
and
can't go on the trip. I'm sorry.
But Dad, you promised.
I never promised. I said we'd go if I could arrange my work schedule. But as it turned out, I've not been able to do that. Maybe next year.
Barrett?
I said I was sorry. Now the subject is closed.
Do you know what you're doing to that child?
Jenny, life is full of disappointments. Now, he has to find that out sooner or later.
Barrett, he's only a child. He has a right to some fun once in a while.
I've got work to do. I'll see you later.
Mrs. Wheeler, there's something I just read. Excuse me, I didn't know you had company.
Well, that's all right. I was just leaving. Think about what I said, Mrs. Wheeler. I'll be in touch with you again soon. Goodbye.
Really, Vivian, you have a habit, you know, of just bursting in on me at the most inopportune time.
Mrs. Wheeler, you should be glad I came in when I did if that's the man you said was trying to blackmail you.
Well, what was so important that couldn't wait?
It's this thing I just read in the paper. It's the most
Oh,
awful
I
thing. and
know
it's
all
about
about it. I've already read it.
Well, there's something you don't know.
What?
That I knew that the man that they murdered, Mr. Bernie Stokes.
What? Vivian, the man was a criminal.
And besides that, you knew him, too.
What in heaven's name are you talking
Well, you
about?
met him at least.
Where?
Here at the house. He delivered some liquor with Billy Joe Wright one time because they used to work together. And don't you remember after that he invited me to go to the chicken co-op and you got all upset?
Yes.
And Mr. Wheeler told me to go ahead anyway?
Good heavens. You mean the man who was murdered, this criminal, was under my very roof? What has that wretched daughter-in-law of mine gotten me into, Vivian?
Mrs. Wheeler, I think you should go to the police now and tell them you're being blackmailed.
And have my name splashed all across the papers along with that horrid Mr. Shaw, just as your friend Bernie Stokes was?
If you don't go to the police, then I think you should tell Mr. Wheeler now.
Vivian, I have already told you that no one must know about this. Not the police, not Dennis, and most definitely not Mr. Wheeler.
But he's your husband.
All the more reason not to tell him. You remember the last time with Dennis when he found out what was going on?
He didn't speak to you for almost 2 weeks.
Yes. And the consequences would be worse this time, much worse.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'm going to have to pay the man.
$1 million?
Not if I can help it, but whatever it is, it won't be cheap.
I have a little something put away in money market funds, so if you think it would help, you can have that.
Oh, Vicky, you're so sweet. Thank you. But I believe I'll have to think of something else. The question is, how do I get that much money without Alex finding out? I'm going to change and then I'll be going out.
None of this is Elena's fault, Max. She just got caught up in a terrible situation.
Oh, but look at her name here in the paper, right next to this two-bit hoodlum for all our friends to read.
Ricky, have you seen Elena? How is she?
She's pretty upset.
I can imagine how she feels.
She was just getting ready to leave for a recording session when she found Bernie's body.
Oh, dear. She had so much riding on that record.
Oh, she managed to get through the session, all right.
Oh, that poor girl. If you'd only called us last night, we would have driven out there.
Driven where? What for?
She needs her family now, you know?
Well, then you help her. I told you the day I don't want anything more to do with her.
She's your sister, Max.
I've tried to help that girl before, but she lied to me.
Wait a minute. Lied about what? Those publicity photos?
And a lot of other things.
Well, can't you forget about all that?
No! I can't believe her anymore. Now, if you want to help her, you go right ahead, but I'm staying out of it.
I don't know why I even bothered coming out here this morning.
I don't know why either.
Goodbye, Rita.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Chris? It's Pete Parnell.
Hello, Pete.
Hear you've been having a little trouble up there in Houston.
Trouble?
One of your former employees?
Bernie Stokes.
What's the story on that?
Well, I don't know, probably just what you read in the papers.
Billy Joe Wright and that client of his found the body?
Yeah, that's right.
Now listen, we've got an investment in that girl. We've got plans. I don't want anything to go wrong.
Nothing is going wrong.
What about the recording session?
No problem.
The Decker girl wasn't upset?
Yeah. Well, let's just say that she had a little help calming down.
What kind of help?
Pills. One of the musicians thought she looked pretty spaced out, so I checked her dressing room.
Yeah?
I found a bottle of tranquilizers, pretty strong ones.
She's not hooked, is she?
Oh, I don't think so. Not yet, anyway. Look, I can put a stop to it if you want.
No. No, not yet. Just keep an eye on her. Who knows, it might work to our advantage.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, too. Listen, Pete, you get any word from Jim Lawrence?
He's still out of the country. You're taking orders from me now.
Yes, sure, I understand. You say you'll be coming to Houston soon?
I have to clear up a few things here in Galveston first. I'll probably be there around the end of next week.
Good. I look forward to seeing you. Listen, Pete, I have to go now. One of my delivery boys just showed up.
I'll keep in touch.
Hello, Paige.
Don't say another word. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't understand you. Your little sister. She must be going through hell right now.
Now, wait a minute. When Ricky was telling us about this character, Bernie and Elena, you didn't seem too surprised. Now, you expected something like this to happen, too, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I read about it in the paper this morning before you came in.
Our paper was delivered. You knew this and you didn't want to tell me?
I was trying to find a way to break it to you gently.
Well, you could have saved yourself the trouble.
I was only thinking of your feelings, Max.
Well, thanks a lot. I gotta get back to work now.
Max, what about Elena? Please go see her!
I wouldn't be able to help her.
Just going to see her would be a help to her. Honey, it would make things better for her if she knew that you cared.
No.
You are the most stubborn man I have ever met.
Now, you knew I was stubborn from the day you married me. Goodbye, Rita.
Max, if you won't see her, please let me talk to her.
No! Now, you stay out of it, and I mean it.
Now, to what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
I just came from the police station. I thought you might be interested.
What makes you think that I would be interested?
Because if it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have been there in the first place.
You mean if you hadn't come storming into
It was
my
lucky
office,
that you kept my
yes.
name out of the newspapers, Chris, because I'm warning you. If
No,
you...
Paige, I'm warning you. I gave you your chance and you turned me down. Now I'm going after this money on my own, and neither you nor anybody else is going to stop me.
Don't be so sure.
Iris, darling, I apologize for showing up without calling first.
Oh, it's all right. Come on in.
I gather you know all about Max's sister.
Yes, I'm sick about it.
Does Max know yet?
Yes, Ricky came by today to fill us in on the details.
Spare me, please.
Iris, I noticed that Chris Shaw's name was mentioned in that story about Bernie Stokes' murder.
He came to see me this morning, Rena.
Came to your house? I hope Alex wasn't home.
Fortunately, he left for the office.
Oh, thank heavens for that.
Well, I don't know what I would have done if Alex was still home.
What did Chris Shaw ask you?
He wants his money now, his $1 million.
What did you tell him?
Well, there wasn't much I could tell him. I just tried to stall for time.
There's only one thing to do.
What are you doing?
I'm calling the police.
No.
Iris, this is the only thing you can do. You have got to tell the police about this. Blackmail's a serious offense.
Darling, don't start that nonsense about my going to the authorities. I can't do that, and you know it.
You need professional help on this.
No. You're the only one who can help me now.
Honey, I'm trying to help you. These things take time.
Chris Shaw is getting nastier by the moment. I'm afraid if I don't accommodate him soon, Alex will find out what's going on.
$1 million is a lot of accommodating, Iris.
Yes, I thought about that while I was driving out here, and I came up with a plan.
You mean to get out of paying him?
Not exactly. But I thought if I could come up with some of the money, perhaps half of it, I'd give it to him and say, take it or leave it.
Do you think it would work?
Well, I doubt if he'd turn me down, Rena. I suspect Shaw has never had more than $100 in his wallet at once.
Oh, honey. Honey, I think you'd be taking a big chance with that.
It's a calculated risk. But the odds are in my favor that he'd accept the offer. So if you can raise half the amount, I'll try to raise the other half.
Without Alex finding out about it?
Yes.
Well, I'm having a little trouble getting my hands on my money without my parents finding out about it.
Well, surely you can convince Stryker to help you.
There's a complication, Iris.
Vicky?
Yeah. Stryker doesn't want to give me that much money without her knowing about it.
Well, talk him out of letting her know.
Honey, he doesn't like to keep secrets from her. He doesn't believe in it.
Well, and if he tells your mother about the money, then what?
Well, she'd have a lot more questions to ask than Stryker, and I'm not in the mood to tangle with her.
Rena, I wouldn't ask you if it weren't important.
I know that, honey. I'll do my best, Iris, but it won't be easy. Now, how long do we have?
Not long, I can tell you that. That dreadful man reminded me that he's not known for his patience. So I'm sure he's only going to give me a few days.
All right.
You do your best. And in the meantime, I'll try to get the money from Alex without his knowing what it's for.
You think you have another card up your sleeve?
Same card, Chris. I'm just waiting for the right time to play it.
Paige, you have not been paying attention to the game. The rules have changed.
Oh, I don't think they have at all.
No?
No. No. I think the police are going to want you even more because of that little porno ring that you've been running.
What porno ring?
The one that the late Bernie Stokes took care of for you.
Bernie Stokes. Oh, yes, that guy. Oh, yeah, he got himself mixed up with a rotten bunch of people, didn't he?
It won't work, Chris. I know Bernie worked for you. And now that he's been murdered, the police will be even more anxious to get their hands on you.
Paige, there is absolutely no one, And no thing that can connect me with that porno ring.
You think you are so clever.
Clever enough.
Yes, and what if the police would arrest you for murder?
Paige, you don't think that badly of me, do you?
I think you're ruthless enough to do anything that'll get you where you want to be.
You're very tiresome, Paige. I've had enough of you for one day. Now, why don't you just run on home and get cuddly with hubby? I have more important things to do.
All right. But I'm warning you, Chris. Dennis is the only thing in my life that I care about, and if I lose him because of you, I will get even, one way or another.
Hi.
Hello, Stephen Marshall.
Did I wake you up?
Oh, no, honey. I was just changing my clothes. I'm going into town today.
Mom does that too.
Well, city folks expect us to dress up a little.
Is Max around?
No, he's not, honey.
Well, do you mind if I wait for him?
Well, I don't know when he'll be in. It may not be until evening.
I saw Jeb, and he said Max was on his way up here for lunch.
Oh, I better fix something then. Come on in. Make yourself at home. Are you enjoying your spring vacation?
I missed track practice.
Max tells me that you run 7-8 miles a day anyway.
I do. But I don't like it much. I don't have anybody to run with.
Oh, it must get kind of lonely.
Yeah, it does.
You want to have lunch with Max?
Oh, I'm not hungry, thank you.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, hi, Max.
You keeping Rena company?
No, I've been looking for you.
Oh, yeah? You want to have lunch with me?
No. No, thank you.
Guess you're about ready for that camping trip, huh? I bet there's some piece of equipment of mine you want to borrow.
No, I'm not going.
No, why?
My dad said there's too much work to do on the ranch.
Listen, if you guys can fix your own lunch, I think maybe I better get dressed.
My dad doesn't like me. That's the real reason he won't go. So I wondered if I could stay with you and Rena.
Okay, Alex, this is the revised contract for Wakefield Enterprises. Legal department just went over it.
Everything's all set then?
Yeah, should just about do it.
Ryan, you look tired.
I didn't get too much sleep last night.
Why don't you take the rest of the afternoon off and go home and get some rest?
Oh, come on. I'm booked solid with meetings for the rest of the day, remember?
What do you mean with Halverson Oil? We can always have that
No,
off.
come on. That wouldn't help at all.
Jenny's still on your mind, huh?
And you're still reading my mind now, aren't you? Yeah, I saw Jenny a couple of weeks ago at Courtney Marshall's clinic.
How is she?
She's beautiful. More beautiful than ever. I don't know. Tell you, Alex, if I could, I'd drive out to the Marshall Ranch and take her away with me right now.
You know you can't do that.
That's right. Because I promised Jenny I'd stay out of her life.
Now you wish you hadn't made that promise?
Yeah, I sure do.
You thought it would help when you went away.
No, I wouldn't help my going away.
I'm sure of it. Ryan, I know what it's like to be away from the person you love. I waited for Iris for 25 years.
Well, that's certainly what I'm doing, and if I have to wait 25 years for her, I will.
Have you seen Steve Barrett? I can't find him anywhere.
Yeah, so I'm headed up towards Max and Rena's cabin. He's probably up there complaining about what a terrible father I am.
Well, you haven't exactly been the most understanding father lately, that's for sure.
I am not catering to that boy's every whim. He has to learn that he can't have his way all the time. Life is not like that.
Barrett, that camping trip isn't exactly a whim. He goes every year. He's planning on it.
Ginny, there is too much to do around the ranch. You know that as much as I do.
You know that Steve does his share of helping out here. Besides, you told him that you'd go on that trip with him. Then you'd come out of the blue and change your mind. Now, an adult, it's difficult for him to accept that behavior, much less a child.
I am trying to teach Steve how much difficulty there is in running a ranch. But if you keep pampering him...
I don't pamper him. I set certain rules for him and he follows them. But if you keep changing the rules, it's confusing him.
I change the rules?
Yes. He doesn't even know what to expect from you anymore. It's very hard for Steve to deal with. It's hard for me, too, Barrett.
Well, why don't you go up to Max's cabin and let him console you, too?
So that's what the problem is with you. The fact that Steve is more comfortable with Max than he is with his own father.
You know what my problem is, Ginny? You.
Hey, darling.
Come in, sweetheart.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything. Hello, Ryan.
Oh, hello, Iris. No, as a matter of fact, I was just leaving. Listen, Alex, I'm going to grab a bite to eat before my meeting starts.
Okay, we'll talk later. Huh?
Nice seeing you, Ryan.
Yeah, nice seeing you, Iris.
Ashley said you had no plans for lunch, so could you have lunch with me?
Well, I'd love to. If you don't mind sitting down and waiting for about 5 minutes, I'm expecting an important call.
Oh, of course, darling.
Good.
Ryan didn't look well.
Oh, no?
Is something wrong?
It's personal, darling.
Perhaps he could use some time off.
Maybe, but at this moment, World Oil needs him more than ever.
You don't think his personal problems might get in the way of his work?
Ryan is very conscientious.
You don't think he'd let that happen?
No. No, besides, now that Dennis has definitely refused my offer to work here, I'm going to have to think of someone else to take over the reins one of these days.
That day is a long way off, Alex.
I'm not sure I want it to be. And don't forget, Ryan is my nephew.
Well, darling, that doesn't mean you should write Dennis off completely. Who knows, he may have a change of heart one of these days.
Yes, but at this moment, the business has got to go on.
I know, the company won't run itself. You haven't by any chance thought any more about offering Justin a job, have you? I mean, you said you were so pleased with the deal he brought to you a few weeks ago.
It's funny you mentioned that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have a meeting with him right after lunch and do just that.
Oh, Alex, I think that's a very smart move. I know you won't be disappointed.
You're assuming, of course, that he will accept.
Yeah.
Why don't we go ahead and have some lunch? You know, that call may be late, and in that case, I'll just have Ashley ring me in the dining room, and I'll take it there. Huh?
Fine.
Good.
Oh, sweetheart, I forgot to tell you. I went to see my jeweler this morning. He'd called me about a most exquisite necklace that's going on private auction.
Did you see it?
It's really stunning. But then it should be. He expects it to bring in the neighborhood of $500,000.
Uh-huh. Well, jewelry is always a good investment in my wife's happiness, if nothing else. Look, I'll call right away and put a bid on it. Okay?
No, I haven't completely made up my mind yet. I should really have another look at it.
All right. If it's what you want, it's yours.
Thank you, darling.
You know that Rena and I would be happy to have you stay with us, but, well, that wouldn't really help you solve any of your problems with your dad. And I don't think he dislikes you, Steve.
He sure acts like he does.
Well, I mentioned to you the other day that at times he's not in the best of moods.
Yeah. Sometimes he's in a good mood, and then bang, as soon as I say something, he snaps my head off. I'm afraid to talk to him, Max.
Well, sometimes I snap at Rena. Well, sometimes one of the guys, but I don't mean anything, you know?
Yeah, but Dad and Mom are arguing because of me.
Well, how do you know? Have you heard him?
Just last night. I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. So maybe it's best if I don't live at home anymore.
Well, you're not doing anything wrong, Steve. So stop blaming yourself. You know, it's just that right now your dad, he's going through some bad times, and, well, sooner or later, he'll work himself out of it. So you just hang in there, will you?
I'll try, but I don't think things will get any better.
Yes, they will. You'll see.
Barrett, just tell me what I'm doing wrong, and I will try my best to correct it.
You're my wife. You're supposed to support me.
I'm trying to do that.
All you seem to do these days is find fault with me. And I think you're doing your best to turn that boy against me.
Well, you're doing all right with that on your own. That's for sure. Your mood swings are turning Steve inside out. He's confused. And he's frightened.
He wouldn't be if you just stood up to him and took my side.
How can I take your side when I don't even know what it is half the time? You keep changing your mind about things.
I don't.
Oh, yes, you do. And that camping trip is a perfect example. I wonder if you realize what you're doing.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that something terrible is happening to us. And I think it's time that we try to understand it. Now, maybe some of this is my fault, but not totally.
I understand it, Ginny. Everyone's against me, especially you. And it's hard to live that way.
Nobody's against you. Nobody. And if you don't believe that, then maybe you should talk to somebody who can help you.
Who? Max?
No. I'm saying that you need professional help.
You're wrong. What I need is a wife and a son who love me.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
Nice to me, Maggie.
No, honey, how awful it. Well, hello, Justin.
Ashley,
I haven't seen you in a while.
did you miss me?
Well, now, I wouldn't go that far. What's been keeping you so preoccupied?
My job. I'm still KVIK's tireless reporter.
Well, maybe not for long.
Why is that? Do you know something I should know?
Well, the word from the grapevine is that Mr. Wheeler is very pleased about that deal you put together for World Oil.
Oh, really? And what else does your grapevine say?
Well, that Mr. Wheeler's going to make you a very tempting job offer today. Ta-ta! Oh, honey, can't I tempt you with a piece of my own pecan pie?
It's great, Maggie, but I'm not real hungry.
Are you all right, Elena?
Yeah, I'm fine. Now,
Oh, honey, I know it's been rough for you.
Bernie was real nice to me, Maggie.
No, honey, how awful it must have been for you to open that closet
I'd really
door and
rather
just...
not talk about it.
Well, you know, honey, I understand about that, but you are going to have to because people are going to ask you questions. Everybody has read the newspapers.
I know.
Now there, on the other hand, is somebody who is hungry.
Oh, I've been so hungry for the last 2 hours, I couldn't wait till that lunch crowd left.
Look at that. You sure you got enough pickle now to go with that dainty little sandwich?
I've been craving dill pickles lately.
I can't imagine why.
I guess Billy Joe Jr. has developed a taste for him.
Oh, speaking of that, here comes Billy Joe.
Spring has arrived for my Texas sweethearts.
Who are those?
Two of my most special and favorite ladies.
Oh, Billy Joe.
Sure, I'm glad you two are sitting down because I got some great news.
Steve having more problems with Barrett, honey?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Thanks for leaving us alone to talk, honey.
It's good, Max. I swear everyone's coming out here today with one problem or another, and all of them are important.
Yeah, Ricky and Steve. I thought I saw Iris's car out in the road earlier.
Right on the money, honey.
What's her problem?
Oh, she's got a problem. I don't think you'd be interested.
Yeah, probably not. You look real pretty.
Max, thank you.
Chili's almost ready.
Oh, not for me. I gotta get into town today.
You're not planning to see Elena, are you?
No.
Just checking.
Anything else you care to check before I leave?
Hey, now hold your horses. Don't get angry.
Oh, Max. After all Elena's been through, how can you ignore her when she needs you the most?
One more time. When Elena left the ranch, she said she didn't need anyone's help, ever. And I'm just taking her at her word.
Well, you're wrong, Max. You just take another look at that newspaper this
And now,
morning.
Rena, listen.
If you weren't so stubborn, think about it, Max. You'll see that you're wrong.
Texas, starring Beverly McKenzie.
So, what's your big news, huh?
Is this about my demo tape?
I've been over at the Elena recording studios listening while they were doing the final mix on your demo tape.
And how does it sound?
Sounds just fine. Jeter thinks so, too. As a matter of fact, he likes the sound so much that he gave me the name of this guy who he knows at a big record company.
Billy Joe.
That's right. And I just called the guy up, got me an appointment just like that. Darn good, huh?
That's your big news?
Well, yeah, not just anybody can call up and get an appointment with a big record company executive.
Now, Billy Joe, it's one thing to make an appointment with a record company executive, but selling a record is another thing altogether. Now, suppose this executive wants to buy Elena's record, then what?
I'll sell it to him, of course. What'd you think?
I think that you don't know very much about recording contracts.
So I'll learn.
For example, now, what do you know about royalties, percentages? Jeb wrote that song now, so Jeb is due some of that money, you know?
I'm gonna work it all out fair and square for Jeb.
Well, now, I think you are already in this over your head. You have not got a lawyer, you have not got an agent, you have not got anybody that knows
I'm an
anything
agent
about
manager
singing
for
contracts.
Elena.
Hey, what's going on here, you two?
Oh, Billy Joe thinks he's making this big record deal.
Hey, that's great. When did it happen, Billy Joe?
Well, let Maggie tell you. She seems to think she knows everything about everything else. I gotta go, honey. Me and Elena got a rehearsal. Come on, Elena. Here. Come on, come on, come on.
Excuse me. Talk to you later.
Well, have a nice rehearsal.
Well, I guess I better get in some water. Huh?
Well, aren't you going to finish your sandwich?
I'm not as hungry as I thought.
Nita?
Now, just let her go, Ricky.
What's everybody so upset for? What's this all about?
Billy Joe Wright. That's what it's all about.
Alex Wheeler is offering me a job here.
That's the word, straight from the grapevine.
Does your grapevine also give me an idea of my starting position, my salary?
No.
And even if I had that information, I couldn't give it to you. I mean, that really would be overstepping my bounds.
I wouldn't give you away.
Oh. Well, didn't you wonder why Mr. Wheeler wanted you to come here today?
I just thought he wanted to ask me a few questions about the World Oil investigation, why I stopped it.
Well, now that you've investigated everything completely, how do you feel about coming to work for World Oil?
I don't know. It hasn't sunk in yet. How do you like working here?
Oh, I love it. There's always something new going on, and you meet such fascinating people.
Like me?
Like lots of people. You know, my intuition tells me that you do quite well here.
What makes you so sure?
Well, because there's so much room for advancement, and because you're quite an ambitious young man. Oh, well, I mean that in the best sense of the word, of course.
Of course.
Justin.
Hello, Alex.
Been waiting long?
No, I just got here. Miss Linden was keeping me company.
Oh, well, I thought I'd better wait till you got through with your conference call before I announce Mr. Marshall.
Oh, thank you, actually. I'm glad you could make it. I have something very important to discuss with you.
Oh, really? What is that?
Let's go inside. Come and sit down, Justin.
Thanks. I hope there's no problem with the deal that Bubba and I worked out for World Oil, Alex.
Oh, no problem. I'm sure things will work out very well. Your father would have been proud of you.
Thank you.
You know, Mike and I were close friends as well as business associates. He was a man that everyone respected, and I trusted him absolutely. There's a lot of your father in you, Justin, and I like that. I'm sure I could trust you just as much as I trusted Mike.
I don't know what to say, Alex.
I was hoping you'd say that you'd come here to work for us at World Oil.
You mean you're offering me a job?
That's right. Now, I don't expect you to answer immediately. I just ask that you think about it.
Oh, of course I will. What job do you see me doing here?
Well, the first thing I would have you do would be to move about from department to department to kind of get a feel of the place. Now, you know the oil business, and I don't think you're going to have any problem finding out where you would feel most comfortable.
It's very flattering.
Now, we can talk about salary if you like. I'm sure we can work something out to your liking.
When would you like me to begin?
As soon as possible. Now, I know that this is selfish on my part, and I know you have to talk to Vicki Bellman and see about getting 2 weeks' notice from KVIK.
Oh, well, I don't think she's going to need 2 weeks. I think, frankly, she'll be glad to have me off the payroll.
Oh, no, I doubt that.
There are no big stories at the station right now. She doesn't need me. I could begin work at any time.
Does that mean you're going to be accepting my offer?
It does. Alex, I was going to ask you for a job, but...
You have no idea how happy I am, Justin.
It makes me very happy.
Look, if you want to, I'll talk to Vicki, and then we can try to work
No. I'll take care of that.
I'm glad to have you with us. Oh, wait till I tell Iris.
Well, look who's here, Rena.
Hi.
Rena, I'm sorry about this morning.
I understand. Well, Rena, come on, sit down over here. You know, I must have known you were coming because I have got green chili quiche today for a special, your favorite.
Well, I think I'll go back and have a word with Nita.
Oh, honey, that's a good idea. Maybe you can undo some of the harm I did a while ago.
Bye, Rena.
What's wrong with Nita? Oh, well, you know, everybody's kind of wrought up around here today. It's all that commotion about Bernie Stokes' killing.
You know, Maggie, that must have been real bad for Elena.
Well, yes, but I think Elena handled it better than you'd expect. I take it then Max knows the whole story.
Did you know that Ricky came out to the cabin to tell us?
Max didn't come into town with you today, huh?
No.
Rena, what's on your mind?
Maggie, I have just got to know about Max's parents.
Well, then ask Max.
Well, don't you think I've asked him?
He doesn't tell me anything. I see. I mean, don't you think that it's normal that I should ask about my husband's mother and father since I've never met them? But he doesn't say anything. And then I tried to talk to Kate Marshall. But she got real close-mouthed. So you got kind of curious? That's right. I don't understand all the mystery, Maggie. Well, Rena, there's nothing mysterious about our family. There's no reason to keep secrets from me. Rena, I think this is probably hard for you to understand. I mean, you have always been very close to your daddy, and you have always talked about your family very openly. Nothing wrong with that. Well, of course, honey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way you grew up. Now, Max, on the other hand, has always been different. He's always been kind of close-mouthed about his business. So I think you're just going to have to be patient because it's too hard to change the habit of a lifetime. Was it hard for you changing your life pattern when you left the ranch and you moved into the town? Oh, well, no, of course not. I mean, I wanted to go. See, my brother, Max's father, always loved the ranch, and I never did so much. It was hard for him to understand the attraction that the city had for me, and we had a good many disagreements about that. Sort of like Max with his sister Elena, right? Well, sort of. See, then once I moved to the city, I kind of got out of touch with my brother and never saw him much after that. What about Max's mother? Were you close to her? Oh, well, no, you never could say that my sister-in-law and I were very good friends. Why not? We just weren't. And that's all you're going to tell me, isn't it? That's all.
Now, I'll see you first thing in the morning. We'll get started right away.
It sounds fine. Thanks, Alex.
You're welcome.
Well,
The grapevine. It was right.
it's never been wrong yet. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Has it informed you what I'm going to be doing next?
No.
I think I'd like to take you to dinner. Celebrate my new job. How does that sound?
Well, that sounds like fun. And where do you like to do your celebrating?
That will be my surprise.
Well, I mean, should I dress?
Oh, no. You're just fine, just the way you are. I'll pick you up right here about 5. Bye.
Welcome to World Oil, Mr. Marshall.
I just had to have some banana ice cream.
I got it.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, why don't you come around this side of the bar and let me do some of that for a while?
I'm doing fine. You sit down if you want to talk. Go ahead.
So I guess Billy Joe must have been pretty upset last night about Bernie.
We didn't talk last night. I was asleep when he came home.
Well, I know that Bernie and Billy Joe were real good friends, and I just thought that maybe...
Bernie Stokes was never a good friend of Billy Joe's. They worked together, and that's it.
Well, they shared that trailer for a while.
It was just for convenience sake, and that's all.
Has Billy Joe got any idea why someone might have wanted to do in Bernie?
He didn't say. I wouldn't think of asking him. Why do you think he would know that?
I just thought he might have overheard something when he was working at the coop. A guy like Bernie must have had a lot of enemies.
Why, because he was involved in that porno ring?
Well, yeah, that and the fact that he has a prison record.
Well, Billy Joe has a prison record. That doesn't mean he's bad or that he has a lot of enemies. What are you trying to say here, Ricky?
I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just wondering. A lot of people are really curious about that murder.
Yeah, well, I am not curious. I think you should be curious about somebody else, not Billy Joe. between you and Maggie. My husband doesn't stand a chance.
I couldn't help overhearing. You know, she's pretty touchy about Billy Joe.
Yeah, so I noticed.
And I think maybe she's a little extra sensitive these days. Do you think Billy Joe had anything to do with that Bernie Stokes killing?
No, I doubt it. I don't think the police do either. Now, his boss, Chris Shaw, he's the most likely candidate. But I think he's got an airtight alibi.
I think maybe you got a few ideas of your own about this.
Now, Maggie, don't start playing detective on me.
Well, now, are you going back to work now?
No, not for a while. I think I'm going to stop over at the Coop and catch the end of Elena's rehearsal.
Come on, you just come. You need a nap.
Billy Joe, I don't want to take a rest, okay? I am not all that tired.
Well, just till the rehearsal starts. I figured you'd stretch out in the back office and relax.
No! No, that room is depressing, and it gives me the creeps. And anyway, every time I close my eyes, I see Bernie.
Okay. I just wish that band would get here, that's all. I know what you mean about Bernie. I stayed awake most of the night just wondering, I mean, who could have hated Bernie that much to kill him like that? I mean, strangle, what a way to go, you know?
Please, Billy Joe.
What I don't understand is what happened to all that money?
What money?
Hey, it's nothing. Forget it, okay? It's just nothing.
No, wait a minute, Billy Joe. Now, you just mentioned something about money. I want you to go on. Was it Bernie's money?
Well, I don't know if it was his exactly, but he was carrying around a big roll of bills.
How'd you find that out?
Well, he showed it to me that first night when we saw him at the apartment. You know, remember?
When we were out by the pool?
Yeah.
Well, how much money did he show you?
Well, he claimed he had around 20,000.
20,000?
Well, I don't know for sure. He could have just been carrying a roll of $1 bills around just to impress people. I didn't get a chance to count it.
Well, where would Bernie get that kind of money? And the newspapers didn't say anything about finding money on him.
I've been puzzling about that myself.
Bernie could have hidden that money, Billy Joe. Maybe in the trailer.
No, it couldn't be in the trailer. I mean, the police would have found it. They went through that whole place with a fine-tooth comb.
That's the truth. Well, Billy Joe, where do you think all that money is?
Afternoon, Vicky.
Justin, it's customary to have yourself announced.
Now, why make your secretary go through that formality? She told me you were free.
All right, what do you want now?
I have an idea about that new reporter that you hired from San Antone. The one that replaces me on my nights off.
Yes. What is your criticism?
Oh, nothing at all. I just wanted to recommend that he replace me permanently.
Permanently?
I'm quitting as of today.
Well, would you care to explain?
I thought my decision would make you happy. You never wanted me around KVIK to begin with.
No, I won't argue that point, but I'd still like to know. Have you developed a sudden yen for the race car circuit?
No. That was the folly of my youth. Heaven knows the time I've put in with you has made me older and wiser. I'm going into the oil business, Vicky.
Hmm. And do you consider this sudden decision of yours a mature one?
Oh, absolutely. I'll be working with the best. Alex Wheeler.
World Oil?
Alex offered me a job today, and I accepted.
It is customary to give your employer 2 weeks' notice.
I don't have 2 weeks, Vicky. I've never followed custom. Why should I start?
Common courtesy, perhaps, or professionalism.
If I wanted to be preached to, I'd go to church, Vicky.
Stryker gave me all the details on that deal that you and Bubba Wadsworth put together for World Oil.
Well, then you know it's a good one. Bigger than anyone ever expected. And of course, Alex is very, very pleased with the outcome.
Of course. And you've never been one to pass up the chance to capitalize on an opportunity, have you?
Not if I can help it. Especially when the person that I will be working with trusts me.
I hope you never betray Alex's trust. For your sake as well as for Alex's.
Vicky, you always thought the worst of me.
Unfortunately, you usually prove me right.
Better keep your eye on me, Vicky. I'm gonna go far very fast. All I needed was the opportunity, and this is it. I don't intend to blow it.
Hello? Anyone home? Mama?
In here, honey.
Oh, hi, Daddy.
Hi, your mom will be here soon. I'm glad you called the family together today.
You mean you're the one who called the family together? Mother's the last person I wanted to see today.
Come on, honey, now sit down and tell me what is wrong.
Oh, Daddy. I feel so closed out of Max's life. You know how important family is to me, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Max won't tell me a thing about his. Not mother, father, or grandparents. He won't even tell me why.
Well, Max is a man who doesn't talk much about anything. I wouldn't make too much of it.
Well, I wouldn't either, except Maggie won't tell me and Kate won't tell me. What the devil's the big deal about this whole mystery?
You're letting your imagination run away with you, honey.
Then you tell me. You remember his folks, don't you?
I knew of them. We weren't friends.
Then you tell me what you know.
Rena, I'd rather not talk about it.
Look, Elena, I don't know what happened to the money. I just wish you'd forget I said anything.
Yeah, but what if Bernie was killed for that money?
Look, there's no telling what the story is behind the money, okay? All I did was just give you another thing to get upset about, okay? Hell, I wish I just kept my big mouth shut.
Keep your big mouth shut about what?
Ricky.
It's nothing.
Tell him, Billy Joe.
Elena!
Ricky, did your friends at the police station say anything about finding any money in the trailer?
No?
We don't know if there was a lot of money for sure, Elena. All I saw was a big wad of bills.
Billy Joe, Bernie would not have said he had $20,000 if
Bernie
it wasn't
had
true.
$20,000 in cash?
He bragged a lot.
Well, did he say how he got the money?
No. Look, the guy's dead. It's all over. What's the use of talking about this guy?
Yeah, the guy's dead, all right, and the police are really interested in finding out who wanted him dead.
Well, they're gonna have to find out from somebody else. Look, I gotta go out back and see if those stooges are here.
Well, Billy Joe certainly is touchy on the subject of Bernie.
We both are.
How are you doing?
All right. I'd be doing a lot better if everyone would just stop asking me that.
I understand. You like Bernie a lot, I know.
Bernie was really nice to me, Ricky. He talked to me. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like him much. But I think that was just because they never really saw the side of him that I did. Bernie and I were a lot alike in some ways. Sort of loners. He told me a lot about his life when he was growing up, and he really was interested in my career. And he just let me go on and on and on and on. He really cared about me when I needed it the most.
I care about you.
I know you do.
And you know that Max cares a lot about you, too, deep down inside.
So deep down inside that I never get a chance to see it. I wonder what my big brother would say if he knew that I made this demo record.
He does know. I told him.
And he didn't care, did he?
Daddy, you and I have never had any secrets from each other. I don't want any from Max, right?
When you start being interested in all this family business?
Daddy, do you really think it isn't important?
Yes, but you never were interested in it before.
Well, I never cared about it before. But I do now.
Honey, don't push it. Let Max tell you when he wants to, in his own time.
Hello, you two.
Hi, honey.
Sorry I'm late. Now, what's this family conference all about?
Rena wants to sell some stocks.
Oh, is that why you had your portfolio out at Stryker's office yesterday?
Yes, I asked Daddy to look it over.
What stocks do you want to sell?
Daddy's figured it all out.
Well, why do you want to sell?
Because I need the money.
Well, your father and I can give you money. Why sell your stocks?
I'm not dumping the whole portfolio on the market, just part of it.
How much?
$250,000. Well, it's my money, isn't it? Why can't I use it? And don't you forget, Grandma and Grandpa left all their stocks to me so I could use the money when I needed it.
What do you need $250,000 for?
I just need it, that's all.
Are you planning to build that house?
I'm not using it for the house, although that's not a bad idea.
Then what are you going to use it for?
I can't tell you.
Then you can't have it.
You know, you two make me feel like I'm asking permission to go to my school dance. Well, that money is mine, and I want to use it.
Rena! That money's for your future.
I don't give a damn about my future. I need the money now.
Are you in some kind of trouble, Rena?
No.
Well, then tell us what you want the money for.
I can't. I can't tell you. It's real important, Mama.
All right. All right, when you're ready to discuss this with us, we'll see what we can do.
You remember when I was in high school and I had that rock and roll band?
How could I forget that? You guys used to rehearse right underneath my room. Well, I must say I was glad when you switched to country and western music.
Boy, I sure did love playing guitar and singing for people.
And you loved the applause afterwards.
Well, sure. That just meant they were having a real good time listening. I just wanted to make people happy. When I did, boy, I was on top of the world.
I know that feeling. It's very special.
Yeah, well, you see, the trouble is, Max doesn't have any idea what that's like.
So?
So that's why he doesn't understand why this singing career means so much to you. You know, to him, it's just, it's late hours, it's crowded bars, it's a real chancy business, and you really can't blame him for thinking you're a little crazy.
Well, I don't think he's crazy when he stays up all night trying to nurse a sick horse or a cow.
Yeah, but you understand about ranch life. It's not, you know, you're familiar with it even if you don't want it. Now, this is all totally foreign to Max.
And that's just the way Max wants to keep it.
No, I don't believe that. I think it's going to take him a little time.
Yeah, well, I just wish for once that Max would...
Max, hi. Hi. I want to talk to Elena, if it's all right with her.
Sure.
Well, I'll
I'll go see if Billy Joe's making any progress.
I guess you heard about Bernie and everything?
Yeah, I know. Ricky told me.
Must have been hard for you to come here.
Yeah. I drove around the block 4 times before I decided to park and come on in.
You want to see?
How are you?
Kind of numb
Scared.
and scared. Oh, Ricky's been really wonderful.
I've been real glad that he's been here with you.
Max, you were right. You said that I was
Hey, listen. I didn't come here to tell you I told you so.
Why are you here? I mean, I know that you don't approve of all of this.
I don't understand it. And I don't approve of it either. But you're my sister. And you're in trouble. And if I can help you, I want to. Now, I don't know what I can do to help you, but...
Could I come out to the ranch? Maybe for a couple of days? Sometime?
Yeah. Sure, anytime. Rena'd like to see you.
She would?
Yeah, she's always going on about you.
Max, I want to make you so proud of me. I want to show you more than anybody else that I can really, really do something worthwhile.
The most important thing is that you prove to yourself that you're worthwhile.
Well, the only time I really feel good about myself is when I'm singing. I don't really know why exactly.
Well, you don't have to explain it. I'll try to understand without explanations. I can't promise I will. But I'm gonna make a real effort.
Hello there, Elena Decker. You look like you just lost your best friend.
I may have. Excuse me.
Can I do anything?
No.
Well, you look like you're about to cry.
I might.
Why don't you just come right into my office here? Collect yourself. Sit right down before you have to get into that fancy car and whiz back to the ranch. Here, have some tea.
Thanks.
Bad day for you, Rena, huh?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, some of them are like that. Unfortunately, I've had a few lately. Got any sugar?
There you go. Yeah, well, I had a very bad stretch of pretty bad luck for a while. That's all changed now. So, take heart.
Sounds like you found a new roommate.
No, I found a new job.
What?
Alex Wheeler, World Oil.
Why?
Put together a little deal with Bubba Wadsworth. Turned out very nice for Alex, so he invited me to join the company.
It's quite a switch.
Well, it's very challenging. The pay is good. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun.
Hope you're happy. Wish you a lot of luck. You deserve it.
You really mean that?
You know I do.
Thank you. I've been pretty hard on you and Max. I apologize for that. I was always a sore loser. I really want you to be happy.
Thanks.
Is there anything that I can do to help you out with this problem?
I can work it out. Thank you. Thanks for the sip of tea.
Anytime.
It's all over town, and it's all over now. You know, darling, you look really worn out.
I'm numb. I'm so exhausted.
You know, it's too bad them police put that trailer off limits. Otherwise, you could sneak over there and get yourself a little nap, huh?
I wouldn't go near that place. I'll rest here and I'll be fine.
Well, it's a good thing you got your little Bernie there to kind of pick you up.
Yep, and he's gonna be right there on stage with me to give me courage.
Oh, I must be downstairs. I better get down. Hold on. The chicken coop. You're speaking to Mr. Billy Joe Wright.
Billy Joe Wright. Just the man I want to talk to.
Who's this?
Peter Parnell. I work for Jim Lawrence, the man who put up the money for your,
Oh, Elena's demo record. Well, yeah, sure. Hey, listen, I'm trying to get a hold of Mr. Lawrence.
He's out of the country right now.
I know, but I got to get a hold of him. See, I got this guy here named Chris Shaw, and he keeps on telling me that I got to take orders from him on, Mr. Lawrence's word.
That's right. Mr. Shaw is working for us now.
No, but how can that be?
Just follow instructions, Mr. Wright, and everything will be fine. We have big plans for you and your client.
What kind of plans?
A demo of yours is going to be bought by Alamo Records.
Oh, hey, wait a minute here. I got another appointment here with another record company.
Cancel it.
But I can't.
Call Alamo first thing in the morning. The contracts are all ready and waiting for you.
Hey, look here. Wait a minute. I got to talk to my client first. Give me a number where I can get a hold of you, huh?
I'll be in touch with you if it's necessary. Just get to Alamo.
Look, I need a little bit more information about.
Well, what was that all about?
Sweetheart, it might be trouble.
To my new job. May it take me straight to the top. Uh-oh.
What?
I forgot. It's bad form to toast yourself. Will you do the honors for me, please?
To a long career and a lovely evening.
Here, here.
And you're making me a nervous wreck being in Alex Wheeler's office and Justin Marshall. I think we should leave now.
That's a hell of a toast, but I'll drink to it anyway. Listen, if you're tired of my little party here, we can just move right on to my next surprise with my friend.
And what's the next surprise?
It wouldn't be a surprise then.
I could learn to hate surprises.
Oh, you'll love this one.
Oh, we should have kept that champagne bottle as a souvenir.
How'd you like my last little surprise?
Well, it was different.
I thought you told me you liked barbecue.
Oh, I do. I've just never had it at an Italian restaurant before.
It was good, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it was excellent.
You stick with me. I know all the best places.
I bet you did.
I think we should do this again soon, don't you?
Well, everything except for the party in Alex Wheeler's office.
That was my favorite part.
You know, I never know when you're joking and when you're serious.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. I'm always serious. And I'm always joking.
Oh.
Well, I guess I should say goodnight. I'll see you at the office tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. It's been a lovely evening.
Yes. Yes, it has. Thank you. Thank you for celebrating with me. Oh, I forgot one thing.
What was that?
You don't like to be kissed on the first date.
The neighbors.
then I suggest we stop right now.
Well, actually, I was hoping that we could continue inside.
But will you respect me in the morning?
We'll just have to wait and see now.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas. Today on Another World.
I know Mac has got lots of money and the child is not going to want for anything. Not that I'm destitute. But as for love, I can assure you no one is going to love him more than I am.
I wish this was easier.
I'm sorry that you have to make the decision, but I have something at stake. And that's my son.
I got in before everybody left and I hid out. When the place was empty, I planted the bombs. Bombs? More than one? Yeah, 3 of them. Makes more damage that way.
When do the fireworks begin?
8 o'clock sharp.
I can hardly wait.
What is it? What's the matter? There's a bomb planted in the building.
Bomb? How do you know? What do you mean, a bomb?
Listen, I don't know when it's set to go off. So.
Well, have you called the police?
No, I didn't have time to call the police. I came directly over because the bomb is planted in your office. Now, is there anybody up there?
Jamie's in my office.
And now, the continuing story of Another World.
Coming. Melissa, you're up kind of early, aren't you?
Yeah, I have to talk to you.
Well, sure, come on in. Listen, I think there's some coffee in that pot there. You help yourself. I've got to find another sock or I can't go to work.
I didn't come here for coffee.
Sounds serious.
I think it is.
Okay, I think I'm ready now.
Nothing to joke about.
Yeah, what is? I mean, you haven't told me what you came over for. Now who's talking in riddles?
Okay, no riddles. Just straight talk.
You are serious, aren't you?
I am.
Well, what is it, Melissa?
You have to get out of town, and soon. Before it's too late.
Come on in, the door's open.
There, it's hard, isn't it? There you go.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Jerry. Is Clarice around?
I'm sorry I couldn't get the door, and she is dropping Corey off at school. She said to tell you she'd be back in a few minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, how have you been?
I've been okay, thanks to the miracles of modern medicine and some pretty good doctors.
Oh, good.
How about you?
Oh, I've been better.
You sick?
No, nothing that simple.
Oh, Rachel, I'm sorry I wasn't here, but I had to drop Corey off at school, and I want to check with Ada. Make
That's
sure
all right. I'm early.
Shop's okay. Hi, Amanda. Are you ready to spend the day with Aunt Clarice?
Okay.
Here, let me help you off with this.
Thank you. Okay. Listen, I really appreciate you taking care of the children.
Oh, it's no problem at all. I have to be home with Jerry anyway.
You're making me be out the great invalid, Clarice.
No, I'm not. Dr. Matthew said you should get lots of rest and should have someone to take care of you.
Yeah, and you're doing a good job, too.
You're looking better, don't you think, Rachel?
Oh, yes, he's looking much better.
I know it is. There, we got it.
I have my sweater on.
Oh, that's why it's
That's
so
right.
hard to
So
get off.
here, if you pull it, wait a minute. If you pull it this way, it's easy. There you go.
You're even doing some sculpting.
Thank you.
Well, at least I'm trying, but it's not too easy with just one arm.
Oh, well, it's very difficult even with both hands.
Can I get you some coffee, Rachel?
Where did you transfer go? No, thank you. I've got to get to Mac's office.
Is something wrong?
Oh, here you go, here you go, here you go. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
No, it's all right. It's just that things have to be discussed that I've put off for a while.
With Mac?
Yeah, about Matthew.
And Mitch?
Yes.
Elena.
I want to
talk to Jordan Scott?
Speaking.
This is Steele.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you called. Everything's set in motion?
Yeah, we're all set.
I'm glad to hear that.
I want to see you.
What for?
Well, I want to go over the plans one more time.
Sure, I'd love to discuss the details. Every last one of them.
Well, I got some things to do first, but how about this afternoon, about 4?
I'll be here.
See you then.
This ought to make Jess Cooper happy. Very happy.
No, the revisions did not come up to my expectations, but I'll give it another shot. I'll send you a memo with my recommendations. Well, if he doesn't want to accept my suggestions, then I'll have to pass on it. And I want that book back in 60 days if he does. Right, goodbye. Hello, Rachel.
Hello, Mac. I hope I'm not interrupting or anything.
No, of course not.
I wanted to see you.
Glad you came. Come on in.
How have you been?
Fine. You?
I've missed you.
I missed you horribly. And the children.
Where are you staying?
Oh, at a hotel downtown.
Won't you come home?
I don't think I can do that, Rachel, not yet.
But we can talk, Mac.
I just don't know what else we have to say to each other. We've been over it all again and again. I think that I've made it very clear how I feel about raising Matthew, about his welfare.
Mac, we can work it out.
But Rachel, how can we? I mean, if I'm going to be responsible for raising Matthew, then I feel that I have to make him my legal son. You don't want that. And so I just don't honestly see how this situation can be resolved at all unless one of us changes. And I'm not about to change my mind. Are you? Rachel?
I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know.
I just don't understand why it's such a difficult decision. You want your husband to raise your child, or do you want your lover?
He's not my lover.
Well, your former lover, who can offer practically nothing to raise him.
Mac, it's not a question of how much one or the other of you can offer Matthew in the way of physical well-being. That's not the point. The point is the love of his father. I know you both love him very much. But Mitch is his natural father, and I don't think you have a right to take that away from him.
You know what you're really saying? You're really saying you can't, or you won't, break the tie with Mitch. That's what this all adds up to, isn't it?
Get out of town? What are you talking about?
It's Jason Dunlap.
Yeah, well, what about him?
I think he's going to figure out where he knows you from.
How do you know?
Because he's starting to put the picture together. Because he can't think about anything else since we saw you at lunch the other day.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean he's going to remember who I was.
Don't bet on it. And he's very sure that he knows you from someplace other than Bay City.
He told you that?
Yep. And he's very sure that he's seen you in something like tennis shorts, something. I tried to steer him away from that idea.
How?
Well, I told him that maybe he'd seen you over at the Sporting Life when we were there together.
Yeah, you think he bought it?
Nah. I don't think he's sold on it for a minute.
Okay, well, what else does he remember?
I don't know.
I didn't let the conversation get that far.
What do you mean?
Made him think about something else.
Yeah, like what?
Me. He's a normal, healthy man. I made him think about me.
Melissa. Babe, I never meant for you to do anything like that.
Hey, it's nothing. I mean, it's no big deal, you know? Besides, we got much more important things to think about than that. Gotta get you out of here.
Yeah, I know. You know, I sort of came to the same conclusion myself.
Yeah?
Yeah, after that little episode in the restaurant, I decided it was time for me to move on. I mean, I'm sure that Cecile Frame didn't buy for 1 second that I couldn't remember my name.
Yeah, what else could you do? I mean, Jason certainly would have remembered the name Sandy Alexander.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm so sorry. I just know how much you wanted to get to know your dad.
Yeah, well. Now, Max come to mean quite a lot to me. You know, when I was staying at his house, we used to have these great talks all the time. I mean, it was as though we both knew that we were father and son. Doesn't it?
I'm just so sorry. I don't even know how to tell you that. I was really starting to think, you know, maybe you were going to have a chance.
Yeah, so did I guess, but you know, I was just kidding myself.
No, I want you to know that you probably could have made it except for these circumstances.
Yeah, well, circumstances. You know, Melissa, sometimes I really hate my past.
No, listen to me, Sandy. Listen. You couldn't help what you were. And you're gonna make it. You can make it. You're trying to change your life now. The only thing is you just can't do it here in Bay City. You gotta go.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You gonna leave? You promise?
I promise.
There's just one other thing.
Yeah, what's that?
Elsa's book?
Oh, listen, don't worry about it. It's all taken care of.
What do you mean?
That book is someplace that nobody will ever think of looking for it.
Hey, maybe you should tell me, you know. Just in case something happens.
No, Melissa. The less you know, the better for you. You've done enough already, you know?
Sandy. I'm just gonna miss you so much. You know, you're the only person who ever meant anything to me. Mac, how can you say that?
It's the way I feel, and I'd be less than honest if I didn't tell you that I was really very deeply hurt that you'd even have a doubt about who you want to raise your son.
I never meant to hurt you. Please believe that.
All right, I will try, I promise you that, but the fact remains that this situation is not going to be resolved unless you make a decision. Blake or me? Now, you're going to decide that now?
I don't know.
Well, it seems to me pointless, then, for us to keep talking. Well, when you make up your mind without any regrets, would you let me know?
Legal right away.
Hello, Jimmy.
Mom?
How are you?
Fine.
You look very tired.
I'm all right.
Jamie.
Haven't made up.
No, we haven't. Looks like Mom and Mac are still fighting, too.
It's hard on the both of you.
Yeah. But I think I'm luckier than she is.
Luckier? How?
Well, I still have Cecile on my side.
Well, I don't know much one way or the other, but are you any good?
Well, I used to think so, but I haven't really done much with it for quite some time.
Did you ever want to do it as a profession?
Yeah. You know, for a long time, it's what I really wanted to do.
So what changed your mind?
My mother, I guess. She told me that there were more starving artists in the world than successful ones. I don't do hungry real well. So I went into something that would be a little bit more stable. Law enforcement.
She cared for you very much.
Yeah, she did.
Would you like something to eat?
Well, if you don't mind, I think what I'd like to do is just make use of Lee's bed for a while.
Oh, well, you want me to help?
No thanks. You've already done enough. And besides, I think I can probably make the trek into the bedroom all by myself.
Mac, hi. You wanted to see me?
Yeah. You want anything to drink?
Oh, no. No, I don't.
Yeah, I thought you might give me a status report on the Daily Ledger.
Oh, fine. Well, everything is all set to roll.
Oh, well, great. Very good. Listen, are you sure you've got the time to oversee the newspaper, too?
Yes, I'm sure.
You're very certain about that?
Yes, everything is fine.
Good. Well, you think you'll take my suggestion?
What's that?
About getting away for the weekend.
Oh, yes. In fact, I drove Cecile out there yesterday, and I plan on joining her later today when I finish my stuff.
Terrific. Well, I hope you both enjoy it. I think it'll be good for you to get away.
Mac?
Yeah?
I was outside in Liz's office this morning when Mom came out, and I saw how upset she was. Something happened?
No, Jamie, I'm afraid nothing happened.
I don't understand.
Well, as you know, your mother and I don't see eye to eye about raising Matthew.
Well, you mean the adoption?
Yes. So now I'm afraid your mother has gotten herself caught in a dilemma of her own making.
What do you mean?
I want to adopt Matthew. I think that's best in the long run for everyone concerned. I want to raise him as my own son. I want to consider him as my child, as I do you. But
what?
Well, I'm afraid that Mitch is just putting a lot of pressure on Rachel to ensure that that cannot happen, that I can't.
What about Mitch? Have you talked to him, explained your position to him?
Yes, too often, to no avail.
He won't budge on the adoption.
He won't even consider it. And it's putting your mother in a terrible position. I mean, I know she wants to do what's best for Matthew. But I think because Mitch intrudes himself so much into our lives, I believe that she's not capable of thinking clearly about the situation at all any longer.
So he's still pressuring Mom to keep you from legally adopting Matthew?
Well, I can't figure out any other reason for her behavior.
Well, I haven't been keeping in very close touch with her. But, Mac, I don't want anything or anyone to come between you and Mom.
Thank you. I really appreciate how you feel.
Okay. Well, there must be something I can do to help.
I don't think there's anything anyone can do. I mean, the decision is in your mother's hands. She's just got to decide. Blake or me. And I've just got to wait to see what she decides.
What if I talk to her?
I don't think she should have any more pressure on her right now.
Maybe there is something that I can do.
What?
Well, I'm going to have to work on it. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, just Enjoy your weekend a lot, will you? And get away as soon as you can.
Yeah, sure I would. And now, I'm gonna take care of you.
Very prompt, Steele? I try to be. So, tell me, how'd it go? Like clockwork. I didn't want any screw-ups, so I did the job myself. Good. You didn't have any trouble getting in the building? No, it was simple. I got in before everybody left, and I hid out. When the place was empty, I planted the bombs. Bombs? More than one? Yeah, 3 of them. Makes more damage that way. Good thinking. Hey, but that Frame kid gave me a scare, though. Jamie Frame, what about him? Well, he was working late in his office, and he almost caught me planting one of the bombs. Are you sure he didn't see you? Of course I'm sure. So, when do the fireworks begin? 8 o'clock sharp. I can hardly wait. I'm kind of looking forward to it myself. Oh, so tell me, where did you plant the bombs? Well, the biggest charge is in the print shop, and another one in the loading dock area. And for good measure, I put one in Corey's office. It seemed like a good place to put one. Perfect. Mac Corey's gonna come crawling on his knees, begging us to take the dock project off his hands when this thing's over. I'll be expecting a check soon. Certainly. And with a very generous bonus if everything goes according to plan. Don't worry, it will.
Would you like anything, Rachel?
No, thanks.
It didn't go well, did it?
No, it didn't.
Do you want to talk about it?
I don't think I can.
Well, maybe you should try. It might make you feel better.
I don't think anything is going to make me feel better right now.
I think you need to talk about it to get it out. You shouldn't keep it inside you, Rachel.
It's just that I've hurt Max so badly.
How?
By taking Mitch's side in this dispute over Matthew.
Mitch is Matthew's father.
Yes, but Mac wants to adopt him.
Mitch isn't going to let him do that?
Not without a fight. And that puts little Matthew right in the middle between the two of them. I just don't know what to do because I know they both love him so much.
Well, what's going to happen now?
I don't know.
Is Mac going to go through with the adoption?
I think that's going to depend on me.